Punta Verde, Florida, a typical afternoon at
Always some shit in Florida.
Mr. Chubby's Wings was about to descend into violence and chaos.
Okay.
Wow. Mr. Chubby's Wings? The hell of a name.
Okay, how many victims do we have?
There's two victims. And one
is the suspect, ma'am?
Yeah, no, three. There's three victims.
Three
There's
victims
two
total?
victims, and I'm sorry, there's two victims and one the guy who was stabbing.
So, but there's three patients.
This nice family came out and had their to-goes, and then all we heard was screaming. His hand is completely torn apart.
So we have a fourth victim. So
Oh.
a passerby tried to intervene and help,
Yes,
and he got assaulted as well.
yes.
Almost immediately after that first call, more 911 calls flooded in, all reporting the same sudden and violent scuffle in the parking lot. But when St. Johns County deputies arrived, what they stepped into felt less like a disturbance and more like a war zone.
Order on 15 St. John. Show me 1097. It's a guy inside? Say again? Where's the suspect?
On the ground. All right, there's another dude.
Hold on.
Who's got a tourniquet for this guy?
Bring me some chest seals.
The chaos had started right beside Mr. Chubby Wings, just outside the parking lot of Durban Pavilion. In an area where families gather for a Saturday bite, everything had gone south with terrifying speed. Within minutes, a family-friendly area had become...
Alright. What do y'all think the final, draw was in this scenario? Let me know down in the comments.
a high-stakes triage unit. Paramedics were on the ground instantly, and the calls for backup were so urgent that blue lights kept pouring in. Usually, cops show up to clear the area, but this was a bloodbath, and paramedics didn't wait. They were already on the ground working to keep 3 people from bleeding out. What they didn't yet realize was one of them happened to be the man behind the massacre.
Yes, I'm gonna stay right here, okay? If I need to go anywhere, you let me know, okay?
That guy's the bad guy.
Hey, this is the crazy boyfriend. I'm
I understand now.
staying right here, okay, hon?
What do you need, Justin?
Honey,
A stretcher?
I need to stay with him, but I will not forget you and I will not ignore you, okay? I promise.
The alleged crazy boyfriend is a man lying in a pool of blood himself. At this moment,
Teen girl, so it must be like a teen boyfriend.
he seems to be the worst hit of all.
There's this guy who's got an arterial bleed to his wrist. This lady, I'm not sure about her yet. He's been stabbed in the chest.
How many victims do you have?
And then he slit his throat. He's cracked now.
3010. We have approximately 3 victims right now, plus the suspect himself, which will make it.
For the officers on the scene, it's becoming clear that what looked at first like a madman's bizarre stabbing spree is actually a sinister and carefully premeditated attack. There are 3 clusters of responders dealing with the fallout. At the heart of all of this is 17-year-old student Madison Schmetz. Nearby is her mother, Jackie Schmetz, and a stranger who put his life on the line that day, Kennedy Armstrong. Then, just a short distance away is the man responsible for it all, 18-year-old Spencer Pearson. Spencer had jumped out of nowhere to attack the women who were simply walking to their car. When onlookers intervened, he tried slitting the throat to end things before the cops could get him. However, paramedics have arrived just in time to push a tube down his throat to save him. While
What an elaborate plan, bro. This is gonna be a great idea. Make.
the suspect is still being treated and intubated, and with Jackie and Madison already being transported to a local hospital, officers turn their attention to witnesses who are 42 in number, and their accounts begin rewriting the story entirely.
What the f happened? I just backed my truck in. got off of work and I see the guy on top of that girl right there.
Okay.
I saw that and I heard yelling. I ran over and knocked him the off, and I guess when I knocked him off, sliced me.
We were walking out and we wanted to leave early because of the boy. He was in there. So
Him? This guy was
yeah,
in there?
yeah.
Okay.
So he was in there and we wanted to leave early so we would not catch him. And we were just walking, talking. We were both on the driver's side, and he comes running out of nowhere, drops his food, and you know, I was like, at first I was like, what's happening? And then he like comes and like I thought he was gonna hug her, but he ends up like taking a knife out, and I didn't see the knife until.
So you were standing right there with her?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought he was coming for me. But I thought he was just like trying to tackle us or something.
Okay.
He ended up stabbing.
Madison was out with her friend from the high school softball team along with their respective moms. The four had enjoyed a simple lunch at Mr. Chubby's Wings, but as they stepped out into the parking lot, Spencer attacked them. A stranger, Kennedy, spotted the attack and jumped in to save them, but he was too late.
You saw what was going on? You saw what he was doing physically?
Yeah, so pretty much right when me and him pulled up, he was on top of the other lady. And they were kind of looked like, just wrestling or whatever. Then I saw the knife in his hand and that he had stabbed her.
Okay.
Madison had been stabbed 17 times in her torso.
17 times, bro? The torso.
And spine before Kennedy knocked Spencer down.
The spine?
Shortly after that, Spencer tried to slit.
You gotta worry about the spine too, cause like just the right. I mean, I guess that's anywhere. Really, the spine of all places, bro. Just one right place.
Throat.
I saw that guy sprint. I didn't see anything. I saw them walk out.
Did it start up here though? Do we know?
No, it started right there.
Right here. Okay.
He was waiting on her. I saw this kid pacing around out here.
Okay.
The kid was the suspect.
Okay.
I don't know if he was the one.
I just talked to the manager, and so he stopped them here.
Whatever happened, I saw him pacing around out here, and I didn't put anything together, but I just...
And then he started screaming, and he ran.
I ran over here to give him help. The guy who was sprinting over here, he was like, what the f*** are you doing? He was sprinting through the parking lot. And so I jumped out of my seat, ran over here, and when I got over to here, he was walking back towards me with his hand completely gushing blood out of it. Here in the female in the yellow, and the girl in the truck, we're on the ground. This guy, the suspect was laying on the ground like this, cutting his own throat.
Cutting his throat. Okay.
Knife out of his hand.
Okay, but we don't know where he is.
where he went.
What did he look like? Do you remember what he had on?
He was a short, stocky guy with a black shirt. He might have walked in here.
All right. Thank you, guys. Just hang out for me for a few, and I'll be right back.
Since the whole incident unfolded right in front of a restaurant chain, officers decided to look for cameras that could reveal what really occurred there. Officers expect the surveillance cameras to fill in a few gaps and confirm what witnesses believe they saw. But when they sit down to review the footage, it's not a quick attack they see. It's the beginning of a much deeper, darker look into Spencer and the secrets that he's been hiding in plain sight. The officers knew Spencer used to be Madison's boyfriend, but the game he was playing with Madison went much further back. What officers find in the surveillance camera is just a sneak peek into the nightmare that Madison was surviving for months.
What's the status of the video? By any chance? Do we have it?
We do have video, of course.
Does it show?
It'll show. We do have a camera out on the front porch.
Yeah, the one that's out on the south side that points into the parking lot is the main one I'm interested in.
Right. So I saw the whole thing.
Okay.
And from when he was in here, that's
hold on, go back. Can you go back?
So that's just the front door there.
Yeah, but that's that camera that's up here in this corner.
You gotta love somebody who actually knows how to do their job correctly.
Okay. Keep going.
There is one that faces
Matters most in a time like this.
out in the parking lot. That's the other side of the restaurant. That's where the garbage can is, the back side.
Okay,
so it's over there, yeah.
All right.
That's this corner, so that's Ace Hardware.
Okay. And that's back to number one again. So you get 24 cameras. One of them was.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. We do have one of them coming out the door
Yes.
and him coming out after.
Yes.
So that front door camera is going to be paramount.
Yes.
The cameras at Mr. Chubby's Wings capture what looks routine until it isn't. Spencer can be seen doing exactly what he had been doing for months, watching Madison Except this time, he wasn't just watching. On that fateful day, she had been sitting in a restaurant with her friends when he entered the restaurant. Soon after, paranoia can be seen washing over Madison's face. Within moments, the group had acted, following proper safety protocols and alerting the staff that a dangerous man was on the premises. Then they left, not knowing that in the next few minutes, in broad daylight, he would change Madison's life forever. Hidden in one of
I wonder which I know he stabbed her. Oh, but I wonder like how detrimental it was. Like I said earlier, what takes his head in that one spot.
the corner cameras, officers find the exact chilling moments they were looking for, yet will never be able to forget. Madison walks out just a few steps ahead of her mother. Out of nowhere, Spencer charges at her at full speed and starts attacking her with wild frenzy. Her mother runs after them, frantic. Seconds later, Kennedy bolts in too, trying to pull Madison out of the situation. The recording leaves hardly anything for the imagination. Hours later, Madison is at the hospital fighting for her life, along with her mother. But tragically for this high school athlete, the injuries to her spine had left her paralyzed from the chest down. Spencer Pearson was formally charged on June the 5th of 2023, 2 days after the June 3rd stabbing at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Punta Verde Beach. The charges include attempted first-degree murder, aggravated battery causing great bodily harm, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, attempted murder, aggravated assault, and weapons-related charges. Spencer Pearson likely believed the damage was permanent. After 17 stab wounds and a spinal injury that left her paralyzed, he thought that her story had ended that night outside of Mr. Chubby's Wings. But it hadn't. Months later, Madison walked into a St. Johns County courtroom and delivered her own statement, standing face to face with the man who tried to silence her.
Before I begin, I'd like to preface
I thought she was like walking by
this
herself.
statement by explaining just how incredibly difficult this is. To not only set my pride aside, but to vulnerably open up in front of this courtroom, the defendant and his family, is difficult. I say this because throughout this process, I have carried myself with grace, and truthfully, I have not opened up in front of others the way I'm about to. I say I'm setting my pride aside because truthfully, I do not believe the defendant nor his family deserve to hear any of the negative ways this experience has impacted me, let alone get to hear all of the positive things I've done after it. I've thought about this day, this moment, this statement every single day for the last 538 days. 538. 538 days of living in true torment. 538 days that, regardless of the circumstances, always have the same dark cloud looming over. 538
538 days is how long it took him to get charged. That is fucking crazy.
days of constantly reliving the trauma the defendant put me through. Your Honor, I say 538 as that is how many days it has been since June 3rd, 2023. But the truth is, the torment, the dark cloud, and the trauma I've endured dates back much further than June 3rd.
Spencer later pleaded guilty, avoiding a trial, but that decision did him little good. On February the 20th of 2025, in the St. Johns County courtroom, he was sentenced to 40 years in prison, followed by a long term of probation after release.